Welcome to the Gunning Truth with Roni, and this is a review of Arsenal 1, Monaco 1. Well, the Arsenal, their final pre-season game before the curtain raiser to the season, where Arsenal go to Wembley to play Manchester City. It's finally here. A very disappointing game in my opinion. I like to take quite a bit of things out of pre-season, and I thought it was a very touch and go pre-season for Arsenal. Moments of excellence and then also some dodgy moments. My main concern is I wanted Arsenal to be able to defend, and I know that can start happening from Sunday onwards or when we play Nottingham Forest the following Saturday. But the most important thing is for Arsenal to defend better as a team and defend better individually. We need less mistakes. And obviously yesterday's goal that Monaco scored was very poor defending, but that wasn't a mistake. That's more structural. And obviously Arsenal made loads of changes, as you can see by the starting lineup. And then there was obviously one or two opportunities for Wissam Ben Yedder, the Monaco captain, as well as Minamino when he came on. He seems to have the wood over Arsenal. And I thought it was very disappointing at times the way, especially Fofana in midfield, was able to breeze through our midfield. And again, you look at it two ways. It's once again pre-season, and myself, I try not to look at last season's pre-season where the goal was probably to have a structure and have that squad ready for the first game of the season against Crystal Palace. Whereas this time around, we've made loads of changes. Our fullbacks is, I don't want to call it a mess in a negative sense, but a mess as in we are finding other ways to be able to attack. And now we're playing Timber at left back. It's successful. He's done well. Kiwior also at times. And then obviously in the game we had Timber and Tomiyasu changing in-game from left back to right back. So let's have a look at the team. Ramsdale in goal. Timber started at right back, but he did also play left back and in midfield, sometimes wide forward as well. So he was all over the place. And then Saliba and Kiwior. I think it's the first time that they played together in terms of centre-backs. It's normally Saliba, Gabriel and Kiwior as part of a inverted back three, if I can call it that. But the first time Saliba and Kiwior started together as a new partnership, and I've really been impressed with Kiwior this pre-season. Tomiyasu starting on the left, but did play at right back as well. You can see he's definitely way off the pace just by his passing as well. Thomas Partey and Rice playing the left 8 role was really good in some instances, but he did struggle with the pace, the intensity that Arsenal wants to play, or that Arteta wants to play with that left 8. So he did struggle. You could see his face turn red after 50 minutes, and that means that he struggled with the pace of the game. Thomas Partey was excellent. If you want to compare, they both play for us. You don't need to compare, but Thomas Partey has definitely been the better player in the 6 role out of the 2. He controls games definitely, and just the way that he glides in midfield as well. And then Smith Rowe played the 10 position, again not taking control as we would like him to. He doesn't really play the Odegaard Vieira type of a role. He's a ball carrier, and he doesn't really interlink like a number 10 does. He's somebody that's almost ideal for a attacking left 8 in a midfield 3. But this time he played as the 10. So I don't particularly like him there, even though he's got the number 10 and he is a number 10. I don't like him in our number 10 or our right 8 position. I like him more on the left 8 or the left wing. And then, of course, Vieira, he had a very good game. I'm gonna actually say that he had a good game. He was trying to be more physical in the game. There was one time where the very impressive left centre-back of Monaco, they went one-on-one and he tried to barge him, and he was basically like a Springbok versus All Black rugby game. He was taken out, Vieira, but he definitely is trying to put himself about when it comes to the physicality. And then, obviously, here and there, nice passes as well. Martinelli, again, struggled a little bit. Obviously he's not quite there yet. And then Nketiah, the ball, I don't like the way the ball bounces off him, but I thought his hold-up play was very good. And when I say hold-up play, when he's one-on-one with a defender and tries to win those one-on-one battles, that was good. And then he finished off his chance, had other chances. His heading ability is really poor, to be honest, for somebody that's a fox-in-the-box number 9 type striker. He had a couple of chances, so it just doesn't seem like he is what I want him to be in that 9 role. But there's obviously certain traits that Arteta likes the number 9 to do. And then also when he tries to play the Jesus role, he struggles with that, especially trying to bring Martinelli into play. They tend to be in each other's way. So it's quite tough from that standpoint as well. But and then the second half was very disappointing. Obviously 1-1 at halftime. And then when the guys came on, I thought Trossard was fantastic. And Trossard is somebody that I would play on Sunday. I'm actually now trying to think how I'm going to go about my team, and I will actually be doing that on my podcast. So watch out for my podcast tomorrow afternoon. That is on Spotify, the Gunning Truth podcast, where I will actually look into my starting lineup. But I'm thinking between a Saka, Martinelli, Trossard front three, or a Saka, Trossard on the left wing, and Nketiah through the middle, because I don't think Martinelli is ready yet. And then just quickly a mention on Saliba. He could have been sent off. Obviously the first one was a bit unnecessary to give him a yellow card, but then if you give him a yellow card for that, you should have given him a yellow card for the second foul that he did. Should have been sent off, but you can see that he's also at this moment in time trying to get back into it. Arteta has basically been playing him as a starting right centre-back in every single game, so he's gotten a lot of minutes. He needs it, obviously. And then obviously concerns, Gabriel Jesus seemingly out for up to 6 weeks, if not longer, because of some sort of a minor knee surgery that he had to have. But the moment it's a surgery, I can't see him playing in 2 to 3 weeks, as most people like to indicate, even Arteta. So it's possible that he's going to be around about that period where we play Man United and Tottenham. I think both are at home. But I think he will be back for the Man City game. So I think we are playing Man City also at the Emirates. So I think round about that time will be the time that he comes back. And that was similar when he came back after his 4-month injury. It was about 4 months. Also, just after the FA Cup game against Man City, round about that period, he also started coming back. He came back in the Fulham game, if you can remember, in the second half of last season. So very concerning, obviously. I do feel we have the tools. I feel we're not quite there yet, and I'm just a bit concerned. The concern is that with all these tools that we have and trying to put it together, there is a possibility for a couple of dropped points, I feel, in that relatively easy run, and that concerns me. The start of our run, I obviously went through it in one of my videos. I can't even remember the fixtures anymore, but I do know that we're playing, obviously, Nottingham Forest. We're playing Palace, I think, on the Monday, and then I think we play Villa and Fulham somewhere along the line there. Those teams are all coming first up, and then we obviously have those two big games, Man United, Tottenham, and we have Manchester City, all at the Emirates Stadium. So we obviously need to make use of those opportunities in the first half of the season, especially with a team that's trying to gel, and then second half of the season where we need to be better in the British, is it the British Spring? That's where we struggled. The British Spring this year, that's where Arsenal struggled at the end. So a little bit of a disappointing result, I would say. Arsenal actually ended up winning on penalties. I hate penalties in pre-season, but obviously I think Arsenal did the penalties because of the Community Shield. That's an opportunity for that game to go to penalties. And then, we've got Sunday, we've got Manchester City in the Community Shield to open the league season. I don't know anymore how to analyze this. A lot of people don't count it as a trophy. When you look at Spain, France, Italy, they all have the Super Cup as part of the major trophies for the season. The Community Shield is, obviously it used to be called the Charity Shield and then the Community Shield. So it's seen as a glorified friendly and not a Super Cup, even though it is a Super Cup if you think about it. So all the other countries, they count it. In Germany, they count the Super Cup as well. It's just in England where if you don't win it, it doesn't count. If you win it, the opposition says it doesn't count. So for me, it counts because it's a Super Cup and it counts in the other countries. But it's not the end of the world if you don't perform in it. Loads of teams have won it. Arsenal actually beat Man City a couple of years ago 3-0 after Arsenal were the FA Cup winners and Man City were the league winners. And I think it was the same. Yeah, it was the same for Liverpool-Arsenal. Liverpool won the league in the COVID times, and then also still in COVID times, Arsenal winning on penalties at Wembley. Remember that Maitland-Niles penalty as well. So it can be very interesting to see. I'm gonna deep dive a little bit more into the Arsenal Man City game on my podcast, which will be out tomorrow afternoon sometime on Spotify and iTunes. The Gunning Truth. Stay tuned, guys. Come on, you Gunners.